I want to get Steve Miller in, who was President Trump's top speechwriter, or in charge of speechwriting. Steve Miller is a very smart guy. He's been on the show a bunch. And there he is. And Steve, I just want to ask you, go right into it. As a speechwriter, and as a very good one, my humble opinion, what did you think of Mr. Biden's speech? Were there highs and lows? How did you read that?
I thought it was a huge missed opportunity for Joe Biden. If President Biden wanted to unify the country, Larry, he could have done something very simple. He could have said thank you to President Trump for leaving me with a bevy of safe and effective vaccines that we can use to inoculate this country and achieve vaccine-induced herd immunity and get life back to normal. I mean, he tiptoed around the issue for 20 minutes, treating the vaccines as though they had sort of come down as like a mystical force from heaven that nobody could explain. And it would have been so gracious and so unifying and so honest, too, just to say, when we came into office, we had a vaccine, thanks to President Trump. Political difference aside, I want to thank him for giving us this vaccine so we can get life back to normal. So I thought that was one huge missed opportunity for Biden.
By the way, I called that leading from behind. I thought the whole speech was, to some extent, fraught with this idea of leading from behind. But, Steve, hang on. We've got some sound, I think, from Biden and maybe one of Biden's staff. Let's try to play that. Do we have sound on that?
Why not just say, with credit to the previous administration and the former president for putting us in this position, we are glad that we have been able to move it forward.
That is an excellent recommendation as a speechwriter, but the president has spoken to it in the past. He has applauded the work of medical experts and scientists and the prior administration. Americans are looking for facts, they're looking for details, they're looking for specifics, and I don't think they're worried too much about applause from 6 months ago when the president has already delivered that publicly.
Yeah, really. I think we have another sound from one of Biden's health care advisors. Hang on, Steve, you got to hear this. It's a different idea altogether.
And I think we're grateful for the work that came before us and are doing the best we can to continue it and accelerate it. I would absolutely tip my hat to the Trump administration. Made sure that we got in record time a vaccine up and out. That's a great thing, and it's something that we should all be excited about.
So there you have. That's a little better idea. That's what you had in mind, but alas, it didn't happen. Now, how about, again, putting your speechwriter's hat on, but also your policy political hat on? Was the speech optimistic? Was it pessimistic? Was it too downbeat? Was it upbeat? How did you read that?
It was so gloomy. It didn't inspire or uplift at all. Let's pull the curtain back a little bit here. So here's what's going on for you, for your audience, for everybody listening at home. They're deliberately setting extraordinarily low, unambitious, uninspiring goals on the theory that he can then exceed these incredibly dismal objectives. There is a section of the speech, Larry, that I truly believe could be one of the least inspiring calls to action in human history. And this was that if we all sacrifice, if we all do our part, if we stay closed, if we suffer, if we struggle, if we sacrifice, if we hurt, then maybe, just maybe, Larry, on July 4th, you can have dinner with your own family in your own backyard. I mean, I couldn't believe it.
Is that, without obsessing too much on it, but was there a little Jimmy Carter malaise speech there, stuck in there?
Exactly. That's what it was. In other words, John F. Kennedy said, let's put a man on the moon. Donald Trump said, let's put a man on Mars. Joe Biden says, let's see if you can eat barbecue ribs with your own relatives and loved ones on July 4th. I mean, Larry, people are already having dinner with their own families. Newsflash to the Biden administration, people have been doing that throughout the pandemic. They're their own family members, for crying out loud.
Yeah, well, that's why I say a lot of this was leading from behind. One other thing that troubled me, Steve, just a big trouble. He said if we don't do all these things he wants us to do, despite the vaccines, we're going to go back on national lockdown. Now, this country will not tolerate another national lockdown. All the states would be in full revolt against that. And really, most of the states are opening up very, very rapidly anyway. But the lockdown point kind of stuck in my craw.
No, I think, look, it's threatening language. You know, Biden's speechwriters, I don't know how much of this Joe Biden's personally doing, Biden's speechwriters clearly thought it would be an effective cudgel to threaten people with an or else. That's not how you inspire people. That's not how you uplift people. That's not the American rhetorical tradition. People respond to positive energy, to optimism, to painting a picture of what can be achieved in the best of circumstances. Threatening people with punitive measures and saying, well, if you don't do it this way, then, oh, I'll be forced to shut everything down. It's mean-spirited. It's actually cruel, Larry, when you think about what these lockdowns do to people. So I think on that score, too, I think the speechwriters just fundamentally miscalculated where the American people are on these issues.
Well, I'm sure they're good folks. Will you call them and lend a hand?
I would be happy to help because, Larry, like everyone else in this country, I want us to get back to normal life.
Yes.
But the way you do that is by continuing what President Trump did, ramping up this vaccine way faster than Biden's promising to do it, and let people live their lives again.
You know, I like the message of our great guest, Dr. McCary, who's a Fox contributor on health. He had 3 points, Steve Miller. I'll close on this. 1, get the vaccine. 2, wait a month. And then 3, live normally. Just like that. Good words.
Amen.
That's a good message.
Amen. And that's what Biden should have said last night.
Well, there's always the next time. Steve Miller, thank you ever so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks.